What's up, people? How y'all doing today? Uh, I just want to let y'all know I'm gonna be talking about a couple of several things in this video. The reason why what you see me out here doing, I'm out here hustling at the same time, and at the same time, I'm using this video as documents and proof to show you who who fit the curses, or it's not about, like they say, it's not about how you look, because I look at myself and sometimes I wonder. I be like, man, you know. I just look at myself and I'm like, you know how you wonder about yourself. You wonder what your nation go back. You start looking at your eye futures. You start looking at this and that. But I came to a conclusion. Like I said, I got several things I want to talk about. So bear with me. Um, um, who fit the curses? It's about the seed line. Who fit the curses? Like when I look at things like that, you can't. I realize that I can't put all the way think in it. May have some degree, it may have something to do with looks, but more than likely, on average, it's all about, like, as the Bible says, it's all about seed line. It's all about seed. That's it. It has nothing to do with with how you look. You can, just like a so-called black woman and a black man, they can they get together and they have a child. That child could come out looking like anything other than so-called black. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they look like. The child is still a so-called black child, so-called African American child. Just like you get uh, a so-called black woman, you get a Creole, you get a Creole man, so-called Creole. I'm just gonna say so-called Creole man and so-called black woman, and have a child. That child gonna may not, probably may not. It may look kind of, it may not even look. It may look more like the Creole. Like you can look at that child look more like Creole, not black or whatever, or not so-called black. I'm saying so-called black because it's black is just a color. It's just a name or label. It's just really, yeah, that's all I can say. It doesn't really matter what the person look like, the futures, none of that has nothing to do with none of that. It's all predicated upon the nation, that's the seed of that child. That's it. So I have the next question I want to pop in. Have you ever been in a situation to where you needed something really bad and you would be almost be willing to do anything? Now, when I say anything, I'm not talking about going out and doing something stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm that's not what I'm nowhere near talking about nothing like that. But that's not what we do here. Not me. Not on my end. Um, you would be willing to wash a damn car. You'd be willing to wash a damn truck to get to where you need to be, right? Now, this is going into the title right here, Deuteronomy 28, nations that are more loyal. I'm gonna get to the nations that I would say more loyal, but they still fit the curses too. So just go walk with me. Um, have you ever been in a situation to where you needed something, you wanted it so bad, you it's like you want to ask certain people, but you don't want to be this burden, or you don't want them to like, oh, I'm surprised he asked me. Like, what? And you tell them what you need, and you be like, you don't, in your mind, you you thinking before you do it, I don't want that person to know. A whole bunch of thoughts start going through your head. Embarrassment. You hate to do it because you don't know. You're afraid of what? You're afraid of getting rejected. You're afraid of what might the outcome may be, or what the person reaction might be. They may see you a different way or something like that. And they around you and they say, oh, I need this, or I need that, or I need that, or whatever. And it's like you hate to tell the person that you need this, because you thinking about, it's several other things that you are thinking about before you even do it. Y'all know what I'm talking about? It's like you feel embarrassed, you be attempt to want to say something, but you really don't say anything or something like that. What kind of spirit would you call that? Would you call that being wise, or would you call that just normal reaction, or what would you call that? Because you would feel like you was, because look, when you're weak like that, you will feel like you're wrong and out of place, but asking these people and telling these people what do you need, or you need something or whatever, or you don't want them to look at you like, oh well, they not a giving person, or they just, they may look at you as a horrible person. Is the person thinking like that, or is it just me thinking that, or is it just how I feel, or that they not in no ways thinking like that, or whatever? Or if what is that? Is it that they, because see, I'm trying to line all this up. Do you think these are part of the like the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28? Like if you need something, and sometimes if let's say you really cool with these people or something like that, you really cool with these people, and you don't like, damn, I don't want them to know that I'm in need, but the other side of your mind telling you, now you know you need this here, you know you need it, but damn, I don't want to just come out and just say it. You know what I mean? I don't want to just let these people know that I'm in need, because you're afraid of the embarrassment. You're afraid of them maybe going back. You're afraid of all these other people that you may find out and may look at you at a certain in a certain way. Or it's like, damn, I'm surprised you need this. I didn't know you needed that or needed this. I didn't know you needed whatever it may be that you was trying to accomplish in life, and you want it. You just feel scared. You feel so pressed to really say, I really need this here. I hate to ask, I hate to do this here, or I don't want to do this here. You know, like it can be the same situation. If, like, even I felt this way when I was in Christianity. I ain't gonna even lie. When I was in Christianity, you know how you go to church and you say, damn, I know I'm in need, my damn lights is off, and all this type of stuff. What would they? Would they turn me down? Would they reject me? I've been going to the church for years, and I would hate to ask the. Hold on. Okay, the reason why I had it off for a couple of seconds like that, because of some music. A car was coming down that way right there, and it made a turn right there, and it had music, and I ain't want YouTube or copyright you for music, but you be like, damn, I don't want to, cause see, it's like this here. They said if you in need, you should be able to go to your church family or church members and tell them that you're in need. And sometimes when you go to a church or what you call a so-called church family and tell them that you are in need, right? Hold on, excuse me, wait a minute. Let me get. You go to a church family and tell them that you are in need, and you be like, "Damn, I hate to even ask that question, because if I go and tell them I'm in need, it's gonna embarrass me, and I don't want these people to know that." You know how y'all know what I'm talking about. You feel you be reluctant about really asking these people, to tell these people that you in need, because you don't want to just walk up and you don't want to ask the wrong people. You don't want to do none of that. You know what I mean? It's like you don't want to ask the wrong people, or you don't want to. And then, have you ever experienced asking and you ask the wrong people and you're like, damn, they made a big goddamn deal out of it, and you be like, shit, I should. Like when you feel shame to ask people for something and they shame you into making you feel like that you ask the wrong people, and sometimes the wrong people can be your family. Them more than likely, it could be your family members. You see what I'm saying? It's not me. I'm putting people under the bus or nothing like that. But I'm talking about how we are under the curse. I still got some other stuff I want to bring into this discussion. So I just want to take time and just kind of like put this out there a little bit. If you all understand where I'm coming from, Just write it in the comment section and just tell me if you ever been through a situation like this. You know? So uh sometimes like it go all right, let me use a scripture for that. In Matthew chapter 10 and verses 34 through 35 and 36, it says, two will be divided in one household, the father against son, the mother against daughter-in-law. I came not to send peace on earth, but a sword. A man's foe will be those of his own household, things of that nature. Now, when you look at stuff like that, look at that, uh, is that like when you look at, okay, sometimes the curse is up on the family, right? And if we are the only ones that are dealing with this curse, because if you look at, because the curse is up on us in Deuteronomy chapter 28, it's going to cause us is to, um, what you call that? It's not to be faithful. That's part, not being faithful and us not really doing what we supposed to be doing for each other. That those are part of the curses too, I would say, I guess, gossip, that would be part of the curse, right? All those things are part of the curses that is up on our people, right? So when you look at things like that, you be ashamed and afraid to even tell your own family members that you're in need, you this and you that, you're in need for this, you're in need for that, you're in need for this, and because you already know in your mind you might get rejected or get turned down by them. And that is a sad way to feel. You see what I'm saying? Myself included, bro. It's like if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do for my family members or anything like that, especially those of of my household, right? Then that's still bad because that's why I always that we always say your training begins at home, right? It starts at home. So have y'all anybody ever felt like that? Like, damn, I know this is my family member. I know this is so and so. Oh, it's my uncle, my so and so, my whoever it is, in your as family wise. Um, have anybody ever felt like that? And I would dare to say they are part of the curses that is up on our people. Because if you look at the other nations, didn't the Bible say God said He's not dealing with no other nation? He had not dealt so with any nation. And as for His judgment, they have not known them. And then He said in Amos chapter 2 and verse 27, you only have I known of all the families. I think I'm saying it right. You are the only families have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all of your iniquities. So I would say us not willing to, and I'm not gonna say it's all. I'm just gonna say the curse that is upon the majority of us, right? Uh, because of these curses that is upon us, we are going to see things from a different point of view, and we're not going to be willing to actually like step forward and like do things really quick, or we're not going to do it at all. Now, let's go into this, and I hope that made sense because I tried to address it to the best of my ability. When you look at the so-called Haitian or so-called just Creole in general, so-called Haitian Creole in general, because it's all the same. When you look at the Mexicans, the Mexicans, which would be from the tribe of Issachar, from what I have observed, now it's not saying that they don't have the curses are not upon them, because see, you can be strong in one area, but you weak in others. That's what I'll say. You be strong in one area and you weak in others. I noticed that when you look at Creole, so-called Creole, Haitian Creole, I noticed that it seems like they are, which I noticed that's what the people on my data side, that's what they all call themselves. You see what I'm saying? But I don't really rely up on that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because they say some of the people will shift to Spain and Portugal. I mean, all over the world in every part. I'm still trying to get that down pat of how to sort all that stuff out. But that's what they could. That's what they. I grew up, and that that's the thought that they was. That's what they call themselves, to my knowledge. Um, when you look at when I look at Creole so far in my mind, it seems like for the most part they are protected of their families. You know what I mean? I noticed that because see, like they say, I look for the signs. I noticed that they're more protected when I look at the people like in my family. I noticed that they are more quick. If you do something to them, they will react faster. So the Bible, I guess that's where the Bible said you go by the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? And when I compare it to Moses, how he killed that Egyptian for messing with them Hebrews, because the Egyptian took and murdered one of the Hebrews. And then Moses turned around and took revenge and went and killed that Egyptian, right? And when I look at the so-called Haitian, or when I look at Creole, I notice some of the people in the family. I'm, just observing, trying to pay attention to the behavior, to the spirit of the behaviors. You see what I'm saying? And then when you compare it to the Bible, I said, oh well, it's a possibility that maybe I could, but I don't just sit up there and just call myself a so-called Haitian. I'm not doing that because I don't like claiming a culture that I'm not really sure that I just don't do that. No, I just like stay in my lane and just stay like what they call. I'm just gonna say, just for the sake of context, a melting pot. You know what I mean? Uh, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Uh, I have some cousins, maybe that's part of this culture. I have some cousins and ancestors of this culture, that culture, ancestors of this culture, ancestors of this, that, and the third, But the Mexican culture, and I hope it don't sound like I'm running in circles. Um, when I look at the so-called Mexicans, the Mexican people, they are more loyal to each other. They when I say loyal to each other, I'm talking about as far as like that spirit of sticking together. When it comes to that part, they sticks together. When I look at the so-called Creole, they had a spirit to where, from what I see, they'll protect their families a little faster. They will go if you do something to them or whatever, they will come for you or something like that. The aggressive trait. When that's what I noticed, that I observed. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't want to speak on nothing that I don't have understanding of. You get what I'm saying? Uh, pay attention. When I pay attention to my own self, I notice that my weaknesses is that when I get angry, I'm very aggressive, especially when it comes to my family or something like that. I'm aggressive. It's like you you have this love, man. I feel like you have to tell the truth about you. You know what I'm saying? If you especially speaking to my people whom I love, you know what I'm saying? It's like when it comes to family, or when it comes to protecting my family, like as far as like, let me tell you about me, and maybe this might help. If I would take up for my friend or my person that I love faster than I would take up for myself. It's like when it comes to my brother or my friend or family members or something like that. I don't know why it works like that, but it seems like I'll take up for them faster than I would. It's like I'll take up for myself. Don't get me wrong now. It's like I can't stand to like keep stuff to myself. You see what I'm saying? I can't stand to do that. I can't stand to not be a bold person. It's just uncomfortable. It's to be not a bold person or be a scared person or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I noticed that another trait about so-called Creole, I would say, and it's not about the name, it's about what God called you. From what I see, when they get angry, ain't no telling what the hell they'll say. Or either they'll What else? Okay, I don't want to jump off topic now. They are more upfront. I would say a lot of them is more upfront with you. If they got something to say, they're gonna say it to you. You see what I'm saying? And I noticed I met this brother. He was aggressive. I met him. He was aggressive. This was about maybe 2 years ago. I'm gonna say about 2 years ago. His name was Kingpin. I don't know if he's still around here now. It's been a minute, but he was very aggressive. When I met him, he was in a debate with the so-called police officers. And I walked up, I was on my way home with some food. And I walked up there and I put my bags down. I was willing to allow myself to be known before the crowd that was looking. And I walked up like this and I put my bags down while he was sitting there debating with the so he had a round out debate with the police because he was a brother. I did that. And I put my bags down and I just stood up there like that, was willing to get people just looking at me. I didn't care about that. I felt comfortable and I said I want to go up here to my brother's aid to let him know that I'm with him. So when I really got to know him and he went to telling me, I said, what's your name? He said, Kingpin. And he said, my father he's Creole. He was a Ray. I said, really? He said he's a Creole. And just within those few days and a few moments, I found out that he was real aggressive. And I'm speaking on this topic because I'm using it to, I guess, try to edify our people about the culture and the behavior of Haitian or Creole. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm doing. And I said, well, I noticed I get mad really quick. And then I know he get mad really quick. You see what I'm saying? He gets mad really quick. And it's like you can, what's the word? They'll say, man, those Creole people are some crazy people. They crazy or whatever. And then when I look at Moses, I tried to compare it with the Bible. Like I noticed that Moses, he had the spirit of when they was messing with the Hebrew people, he got really, really angry. And when I noticed that if I see somebody talking to somebody crazy, I notice I get real, real angry. When it comes to my people, I get real, real angry. I notice I get real, real angry. And I notice I've been having that anger problem with that. I get offensive real, real quick. And because I noticed that my parents, she always tell me, you have your dukes up all the time. And I'd be like, well, you don't let nobody run over you. You don't let nobody, just talking like that. You know what I'm saying? So when they tell me about my father, they said that he was crazy. You know what I'm saying? They tell me about my father, and I'm saying it for educational purposes. I'm not saying it to be belligerent. This video is only for educational purposes. Uh, the aggressive side of Creole culture. And I'm bringing up all these things for a reason because I want to see if all these things line up with the Bible. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to do because when you read the Bible, more than likely, they say that's how you can actually, when you read it, you begin to, when you start reading it, and it start like, damn, this sounds like this is what's happening in real life. That sounds like me. That sounds like something that I would do. Like, for example, let me give you another example. Y'all remember Peter in the Bible, huh? Christ's first disciple. Remember the story of when they tried to take Christ, and Peter said, Lord, I will go to prison with you and I'll die for you. And he said, Peter, before the cock crow, you would deny me twice. And he said, Lord, I will go with you even to death or something like that. I think that's what he said. I'm trying to think. He said, Lord, I will die for you. I put my life on the line for you, just like that. And I think Peter took a sword. When the soldiers put their hand to Christ, and I think Peter took his a sword and he cut off he cut the man's ear off, one of the priest's ears off, and Christ put the ear back on the man. And I think they said, Christ said, they that take the sword must perish with the sword. And he was letting Peter know, the you're not gonna uh this is not gonna solve anything. You trying to pick up a sword. He told him, don't pick up the sword. And he jumped, he put the man's ear back on. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if that, now I would say I don't know if that's literal. I got to look it up in the context to find out, to see if that's literal. Because when you read things in the Bible, and you know what I'm saying? Because we read things in the Bible, and I'm willing to admit that because I don't know everything. You have to really read the context to see if that was speaking in from uh, a literal standpoint, because the Bible was written in parables and allegories. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't want to take everything literal. You got to make sure that I study things in the context to make sure that I have an accurate understanding of it before I push it out into the public. You get what I'm saying? But some things was not parables. A lot of things was literal that happened. Some things was Christ was using to explain as a parable when he knew that his disciples didn't understand. But anyway, I don't want to be getting off the topic, but I wanted to come back to the lawyer part. The so-called Mexican people, when it comes to they work and helping each other in that area, they may be suffering the curses, but they when it comes to being lawyer in that part, I believe that they're more loyal. Now, when I look at myself, as far as it's not that I'm bragging, trying to be honest, and I try to tell the truth and what I'm saying. I try to live that. It's like I changed it. Like I used to, when I changed my life and stopped taking things that didn't belong to me, stealing and so on and so forth. Once I gave it over, something came over me, and it just clicked with me that this was wrong. And so ever since then, I stopped from doing what I was doing when I was a teenager, like 13. And I told my family, I said, you ain't got to worry about coming to get me from the police station, this and that and the third no more. And they would say, well, don't tell me, just show me. My mother would say, just tell me, don't show me. I mean, don't tell me, just show me. In other words, what she meant was actions speak louder than words. And so because I was terrible, I was terrible when it came to like taking things and being rebellious and stuff like that. I was more terrible than my other brothers, like in that way, you know what I'm saying? So uh, ever since then, I find myself, I remember when, before my father died, and I ain't met him, me and my other two brothers, we saw him. We didn't get a chance, by the time we met him, we didn't know or had an idea that we was just, that was gonna be the last time we was gonna see him. He died from lung cancer. He smoked cigarettes and things of that nature. So we didn't get a chance to. We saw him, but we really didn't get a chance to really know too much about him. You see what I'm saying? Because when we was younger, we didn't know. We never knew who he was and things of that nature. We never knew who he was. But I would dare to say was the aggressive part from what I saw out of him. He was pretty aggressive, and then from what my mother say about him, you know what I'm saying, about him being aggressive in areas, you know what I mean, a lot of areas, and so on and so forth. Y'all get what I'm saying? So when I think, but when I remember walking into his room, and he always had a Bible open in his room. He never would. I didn't know what that was at that time, but I used to listen to these Walt Disney cartoon fake stories. And I remember my father told me one thing, and this is all I know. The only thing I know of him, he said, you need to get your Bible and read it. That's it. And I realized anybody can read the Bible. I realized that Edomite can read the Bible, Anybody can read the Bible, but I just took it as that I don't really know what he would, the things that he would have been saying, because I didn't really get a chance to really know him like that. Me nor my brothers, we didn't get a chance to really know him really good. Now, I'm saying this here for educational purposes. That's all I'm saying it for. So, uh, yeah, like I said, we didn't get a chance to really get to know him like that. And if I can gather any more information, true information, I definitely will use it in this purposes. And he said, you need to get your from. That's all I remember. That's the only thing rings in my head even to this day. I was 15 back then when he was 10. You need to get your Bible and read. That's it. Because his Bible would be open in the room, like he'd have the middle page open. And I think my mother said that when he would walk, he would have his Bible in his pocket. He'd have a little small pocket Bible in his hand, and he would carry it in his pocket with shirts on it. You know what I'm saying? And everywhere he went, even if he drank, he always had his Bible with him. But that don't mean nothing. And I'm just being honest. That don't mean anything because somebody told a Bible, you know, or whatever. Because I'm just speaking in general. Anybody can do that. You know what I mean? That's not good enough. The most wickedest people that had their hands on the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So, um, what else I want to say? That's it about the Bible, though. I mean, he would. That's all I knew about it. I do read the Bible. I'm curious about it, and I've been reading, and for some reason, I just found a fantasy for just reading the Bible. I don't know, I just reading it, or whatever. But you can read it and not understand it because I've been in the Adventist. I came apart. I joined the movement in '92, and I was a Seventh-day Adventist from '92 all the way up to 2014. By the middle of 2014, by the end of 2000, almost the end of 2014, I got out of the faith, and I never did went back. I never looked back anymore. I learned. I stayed in 2014, 15. I was confused. I didn't until 2018. I looked online and I saw the Hebrew brothers um, speaking on the Antichrist, speaking on white Jesus, and they broke down Esau in Genesis chapter 25. And when I heard the video, it just looked like to me, it just rung a bell. Like, dang, oh, wow. And I wanted to know more about it. I said, ooh, man, it's important to know where you come from. I said, ooh, I'm gonna have to, that's really important to know the lineage of your father, where you come from. So I went to looking off into it, man. It just put a certain spirit on me, man. Like, oh, man, I got to take this seriously, man. You know? So I've been into it ever since. I always have read the Bible, but I didn't know it to the full. God doesn't love everybody and all that type of stuff. It just it just open up like I didn't never knew this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And it opened up to me, and it just made me want to look more into it. You know? And so I would listen to the videos the brothers would put out, like, okay. And then every video that they would put out and every video that they would break down, it just resonated. It's just like, damn, that made sense. And I said, hell, when I said, you learn more here. I didn't get this in the Christian church. But anyway, not trying to get off topics, but the Levites, I would say, and they are loyal to an extent when it comes to protecting each other. I would say they are loyal with that. The so-called Mexican people, when it comes to sticking together and helping each other in that area, they are very much more loyal when it comes to each other, especially. You see what I'm saying? So that's all I wanted to say. And if I left anything out, I'll come back and do another video, and we'll talk about it. And just give me your thoughts in the comment section, what y'all think. All right, peace. I'm out. And I love my so-called blacks, Hispanics, and I love my so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people, which are the real Jews according to the Bible. And I'll see y'all later, man. Pray for me that I get bold, and I'm gonna pray for y'all that I be able to get, getting on the streets and sharing this information with people as I edify myself and build myself up. Now I'm out. I'm out.